Hey,
Oh, how you? Good.
what's up? You guys like smoking cigarettes?
Yeah. Hope you like corporate malfeasance. I know you do.
You guys like watching a bunch of middle-aged white men talking about the truth and compromised truth
Yeah.
in boardrooms?
Yeah.
Because we got a movie for you.
What's sexier than integrity? I don't know. Probably a lot.
Russell Crowe's paunch in this movie.
Boom. Boom. Hey, get him. Lay into him. Because that guy hasn't had enough. Just nail it. Just nail it.
Hey, why don't you throw a phone at your assistant? Am I right? Oh, I took it.
That's good.
I took it right to the core of him.
Good. Did he do that?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
He
I thought he just
threw
got
a
mad
phone
at the media, and I was like, yeah, look, dude, like I wrote for a newspaper, and I get get mad at the media.
because I went down a rabbit hole. I was trying to figure out
We got a camera.
the timeline into when he did this movie and where he was at in his career, and then that led to all his controversies. And yeah, he threw a phone at a concierge, and he said it really messed him up for a long time because it painted him. Because he had had a couple other run-ins,
Sure.
and he got painted as the hot-tempered guy. And then South Park had him on one of their episodes in the Terrence and Phillip movie, fighting across the world. It was like, oh, Russell Crowe.
Oh yeah.
Like, fighting.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, that really messed me up for a while.
Well, and like to be like, yeah, like I'm sure like he seems like a. I don't. Well, I have no idea. I have no reason to believe anything.
Well, here's the thing. He plays all these super serious guys and like aggressive dudes, and you hear all that stuff in the press. But then like, I remember seeing the behind the scenes for Gladiator.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he's a charming,
He's a sweet
really
guy.
affable, like
Totally.
funny guy.
Totally.
And I'm like, that's probably who he really is. And then when he has to deal with, paparazzi,
Sure.
which
everyone,
I would
are you
act
kidding?
I would act
Yeah.
the exact same way.
Absolutely. I would carry around like 4 or 5 bags of dummy phones that I could just.
Yeah.
That was not my real phone. Hey, what's up, Jerbo? How you doing?
Those are bricks.
Yeah. Ow. Oh, a razor? Where'd you even find it? Yeah. Well, and it would suck if short-tempered, maybe in the right, but taking it a little too far. Russell Crowe, that image hurt his career as a portrayer of people who are short-tempered and in the right, but taking things a little too far. It's like, all right.
You're exactly right.
If Russell Crowe spit truth to a grand jury, he'd be effed because they'd nail him on the throwing phones bit. Can't believe a word this out-of-control New Zealand man is. He Kiwi?
Is he? Oh, is he?
Australian. I thought he was Australian.
I thought he was Australian too.
We're just ugly Americans, don't know the difference, you know?
Yeah.
Mr. Bighead.
I thought he was a kangaroo.
Hello. Oh. Thought he was a wallaby. I thought he was a bloomin' onion. Goodness gracious.
He's either a kangaroo or a hobbit.
Before we go much further, I should say that M. Black is from Australia. And,
Oh yeah,
and
I
we know
mean,
the difference.
but look,
we said
when I say kangaroo, I mean like
a roo.
a nice one.
We satirize an American in ignorance is what we do.
Yep.
I'm one of the famous Australians from New Zealand and Scotland. Wait, what? So Naomi Watts was born in England, but counts as Australian.
What about Nicole Kidman? What about Guy Pearce? There's a lot of Australian people.
Joel Edgerton?
Who?
Joel Edgerton?
Who's that?
Joel Edgerton?
Okay.
Joel Edgerton.
Oh, you can keep saying it that, and I'm not gonna get it.
Joel
Edgerton. You know
his brother, Nash Edgerton.
Oh yeah.
You got him? Yeah.
His brother.
Directed
Oh yeah. Wait, which one's Spider?
It's a shot. It's a shot. I don't know.
I saw their one. I saw their.
Bear.
I saw Square, which is great.
It's a feature.
It's an Australian feature.
I don't know if I've seen it. Have I done it?
Crime movie starring Joel Edgerton, written and directed by his brother.
Nice.
I think written by both of them.
Right.
Directed by his brother, starring him.
And Joel
really
Edgerton
good.
Directed Boy Erased.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And he also
I really
directed. Can I ask that before for our customary or traditional tangent?
Before we get into the movie.
Yeah, before
the first hour,
yeah,
usually.
You're right. What the heck happened to those movies, Boy Erased and the ones and the Timothy Chalamet, Lucas Hedges films, the Boy Erased, What's his? Brad came home or whatever the kid's name is. Something came home. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't even know what that one is. I know Boy Erased.
Boy Erased, which is Lucas Hedges. Lucas Hedges is another film with Julia Roberts called Someone Came Home or something. It's about a kid coming home who's been away and been on drugs.
Oh, Beautiful Boy. With Steve Carell?
That's another one. That's the other. Beautiful Boy is Timothée Chalamet and Steve
about
Carell.
a kid on drugs.
But the Lucas Hedges, because they're parallel universe versions of each other. Lucas Hedges also did a I'm on drugs and have to deal with my.
Isn't it weird?
Movie.
So it's an Armageddon Deep Impact thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it Morgan Freeman one of them as the president of the United States?
Yeah, they're just like, it was like, Mom, you don't understand. And she's like, I just need to. And then the camera just drifts, and Morgan Freeman's giving the State of the Union for just no reason, and then it cuts back.
He's like, yeah, prison life can be quite a journey.
Why is he talking about prison life?
But Andy Dufresne.
Exactly.
My Secretary of State, Andy Dufresne, crawled through 40 miles of piss and shit.
She's from Tongo. Who's from Tongo? Who is?
Do you?
But like, what happened to those movies? Because those movies were like Oscar.
I don't know.
Movies.
I've not like I did not know. I feel like it's interesting with Julia Roberts because she's so big, such a big star. I feel like she's come out with a lot of movies recently that I'm just like went and gone, and I'm just like I don't. And I've heard some of them were even good, and I'm just like, what's going on there?
She was in an Amazon, I think an Amazon, some sort of, I think an Amazon Prime series.
Yeah. I heard that.
It's called Homecoming, maybe? It's called something else. Maybe called Homecoming.
I have to say, like, I'm both excited at the avenues of streaming and how much original, like, really good original content that we're getting, but boy, I really do miss the age of the movie star. I just do.
Sure.
And I'm kind of, in one way, I'm glad it's gone, because it's like, I don't believe anyone should have that level of fame. I think it's weird. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I miss being like, oh, it's the new Tom. I mean, Tom Cruise is probably the last one, really. Yeah. It's like, that's the new Tom Cruise movie.
You know who it is in terms. It's different. It's different, but she's just got. She just does different kinds of movies, but has the same amount of clout. Essentially, as Meryl Streep. Like she's just worked, and like without a decline in quality, except for like some. She took some like. There was a period,
Mamma Mia.
Yeah. Oh, that one. I'm just kind of like, yeah. That one's for fun.
Yeah, sure.
And then she did a couple of those, like, at least one of those movies. There's a pocket of movies where they're about romances between sort of people who are older.
You can say Bridges of Madison County.
So not Bridges of Madison County. So that's
by the way, Bridges of Madison County. Yeah. Have you not seen it?
I don't think I've seen it.
Fucking great. Yeah, one of Clint Eastwood's best movies that he ever directed and starred in. There is a weird scene though, because like she'll look at him and he's like she's in her house, and then he's like outside. It's hot, so he takes his shirt off, and he's like I'm sweating now. So like he kind of say maybe I'll put this towel on me, and like this damp towel on me, and then she's like, whew, and like they shoot it. He shot himself. Very lovingly. And guess what? I was into it.
Yeah, cool. Rock and roll. Tom Cruise started to look weird. He's reached undeniable, and you're like, oh, and he's talking to this chair. That's where that came from. Tom Cruise is starting to look weird. He's reached undeniable plastic surgery weird face. Oh,
is he?
I feel like he.
I think he's like in
all movies. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Well, what was the last Mission Impossible called? Fallout.
Ghost.
Ghost Protocol Fallout.
Yeah. Something
Ghost
like,
Protocol Fallout. Yeah. Splinter Cell.
Yeah. Ghost Mission. I can't even.
He's coming up on 60, right?
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Like he looks
like he's 40.
He looks like he's 40.
Yeah.
Like he looks great.
Yeah. Even better.
I mean, if he had plastic surgery, good for. I mean, it looks great.
Yeah. Dude is like genuinely like people are always like he's a movie star, and I'm like he's also a very capable actor.
He's an incredible actor, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's great. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, it's great. I saw him do like a thing with Conan O'Brien where Conan O'Brien drove him around for. There's like this gag where he just like drove him around for a long time. And he was like,
just to see
he's
what
like, yeah, all right, Conan, what are we doing? And he's like, yeah, we're just driving. And he was like, and it's kind of fun. But like Tom Cruise in that entire sketch is like so charming and great.
Yeah.
And I was like, gosh, I just love being.
I just wonder. I'm like, do you think he's like that?
Recognition, yeah. Yeah, it's exhausting.
Do you think he's like that all the time?
I think so.
That would be exhausting for me. If he was my friend, I'd be like either turn it off.
Yeah. Stop it.
Or just stop. Stop.
And he's like, okay. And he just produces a DVD of all the right moves. He's like, can we just put this on? Yes.
Tom?
Yes, I want to watch it. Yes, of course I do. Because everything you're in is just
every single
wonderful.
Time you piss me off, you come right back in, and I love you.
Ghost Fallout, Splinter, Protocol. Oh, yeah. I think today's going to be a good opportunity for me to... I think today would be my shirt off. All the movies Diane Keaton. So that's the other one. It's really mostly Diane Keaton, but then like a couple with
I love Diane Keaton, but she has turned into a hat. When she walks around, I'm like, I just see clothes moving around.
Yeah. It's true. It's very flowing.
It's large 90s style clothing.
Yeah.
I dig it. I think it's amazing. I think she looks great.
Yeah.
But she gets lost in that wardrobe.
Yeah, she does.
And I don't see. I'm like, where is she?
It's like I get it. Diane Keaton is wonderful, but when they open the wardrobe in the Chronicles of Narnia, they push aside several coats
like, oh!
and Diane Keaton, and they go, oh, Miss Keaton, I loved you in Anyhow, and goes, okay. I never saw Alice.
Pants away.
Yeah. Shots from Top Gun are especially striking for Weird Face. I guess because we have something to compare them to. Who that is. He's also a Scientologist. All Scientologists didn't get the memo. Yeah, and your loot bag. Your Scientology loot bag. Got a Leah Remini pin. I don't know why. And they were like, we don't give that one out anymore. I was listening to that as a plus. Trying to keep, I'm on a high enough plane. My vibrational energies haven't. All right. The Zulus? Not the Zulus. That's not what they're called. I don't know what they're called.
They're not called the Zulus. They're called the Xenus, all right?
There we go.
You don't have enough... you need to read your E-meter for... what are they called? You check... Thetan. Your Thetan level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say, look, man, whatever. All right. Diane Keaton only exists these days so people can, like Anne Hathaway, can see her wearing a suit for the 100th time and say, yes, queen. Gosh, darn it. Diane Keaton is fantastic. She's fantastic. But she is in these films, and Meryl Streep is in one or two of them. Usually Alec Baldwin is in there somewhere, or someone like that. And then they have, like, John Krasinski as, like, a younger child.
Yeah.
And, like, one of them.
Yeah.
I'm just...
You're talking about one movie in particular.
But they're all called. There's this pocket of movies, and they drive me insane. Not because I feel like I've seen parts of one of them and like ended up not. But they're all called like. What's the deal? Or like she doesn't know it.
Yeah.
Or
she's got to have it. Yeah. Or something's got to give.
Yeah. Well, those and like something's got to give is actually like that's. I'm like that's a saying. But there are ones that are like. What's the difference? Or like there are these titles that are just like, oh gosh, there's like please, there've got to be. Hold on, and I go through Diane Keaton's filmography,
and they're always like the covers are really bland, and they're leaning against each other like this.
Yes.
Or like she's pulling on his tie, and he's just like,
what am I gonna? Boy,
because like we're kooky and like opposites.
And she's like, I'm cool, and he's like, and I'm,
and you're like, I'm Ben Affleck in Forces of Nature.
That's and yes. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up because there's like,
I love how an E-meter is almost literally two tin cans tied together with a piece of string. Yeah, and if I'm gonna really blow it up, it's like if that had come out 600 years ago, they'd be like, yeah, that's pretty legit.
Right? Yeah.
It only gets shit on because it's modern.
What, the religion?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
If it was old, it would be fine.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly 100% what I agree. Hold on. Book club. Hold on. We're gonna get one. Love the And So It Goes. Wow, that's one I hadn't even heard of. And So It Goes.
Look at all these covers. It's always like in front of greenery.
Because I said so. That's a good. I'm like, what?
It's always them like on a park bench in front of like just a green, leafy green.
Must Love Dogs.
Is that what it is?
Well, I mean, I think that is.
That's got to be. That's got to be one of them.
Oh, but that's Diane Land. Yeah, but yeah. And So It Goes.
Oh, what is this one?
Oh, you're right. Darling Companion. Is that Kevin Kline? Because that makes sense.
I can't believe it. I was right.
It is Kevin Kline.
That's exactly what it looks like.
A perfect person. Oh, and there's what the heck is her name? She's wonderful. Diane Wiest. Because I Said So. Something's got to give.
That's a good movie.
Something's Got to Give is I hadn't seen it, but that's like the last of those. They're all patterned after that title format.
I think it's the last Nora Ephron movie.
Oh, is it?
Or it might be Nancy Myers. But
I was gonna say they're all like
it's one of them.
They're all like kind of trying to be like, it looks like a Nancy Myers. Yeah. Do you want to go see it? And they're patterned after the Something's Got to Give title format, but they ran out of saying or not, I don't know, idioms, and they're just kind of like, she doesn't want that.
Yeah.
Or like, he said it, but she disagrees. It's like, what the what? These are not words. Like
dramatic conflicts.
Yeah. And they're not the only one. There's that
for people over 60.
There's a De Niro movie called like, What's the Worst That Can Happen?
Yeah.
And I go, that is a tagline at best. That is not the title of a movie. Because you think of that and you go, because you can't. A 6-week streak of watching the wrong movie. What? How's that possible? Because here's the deal. Here's what like from a practical standpoint is wrong with these movies. If you line up Something's Got to Give, what's the worst that can happen? How does she do it? This and that. Like, I can't tell you what those movies are about. I can't tell you. No. None of those titles tell you anything.
It's always about a man or a woman.
Juan Pequeño, thank you for those 19 months. Oh my gosh. Thank you, dude.
It's about a man or a woman who have either
give a funny story.
They've either come out of a long-term relationship or they've lost their job. And they're lost, and that's how the first third of the movie goes.
Yeah, she's usually. I feel like she's usually, and they're usually none of these movies. She's been having never seen any of these movies really. She's been cheated on, and he's got like a.
Usually it's kind of both, where it's like cheated on, lost their job, but they were really good at their job, maybe even a little bit famous for like very well respected for their job, and so now they're in this lull, but they're still rich enough to where they have like an amazing house.
Of course, they always do, because that's how movies work.
And so they're trying to find themselves within this high society type place, and then they meet the guy who's a loudmouth, but there's just something about him.
Yeah,
there's something about him that I like. Jack Nicholson, Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's it. It's terms of endearment, but they were like, what if it was like if we, didn't have any substance?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to. I've never seen him, so I shouldn't do this.
Something's Got to Give. I watched it because I was like, oh, it's either Nora Ephron or Nancy Myers, and I love them because I love their rom-coms. Yeah. They do it so well, and I enjoyed it. But it is to a T what that is.
It's kind of a funny story. Is an excellent example of one. Also, if
I don't know what was that one.
I have no idea. That's the point. No, you can't. You can't. Who knows? And what's the worst that can happen is not one of those, but it sounds just like one of those.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. What's the worst that can happen is I think supposed to be kind of like a.
That's like an industry.
Yeah. It's kind of a funny story. Here's the thing: if someone was pitching a movie, and they're like, the title is "It's kind of a funny story," I go, let me stop you right there. Bring it back when it's a funny story. When it's kind of a funny story.
But it's in the title, so.
Yeah, but like bring it back when it's good, not when it's kind of a funny story. Yeah. Bring it back when it's. That's like It's never.
They're like they go.
Yeah,
it's kind of a really funny story.
And you go. That's why you're hanging on by a thread, but you are knocking it out of the park, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, crushing that.
Unnamed executive producer on all of these movies.
That's how he laughs.
Hey, it's actually an awesome story. There you go. Hey, so Juan Pequeño, I have to ask, what movie did you watch incorrectly this time? You're like Tank Girl.
He watched Collateral.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So you're going to be set for next week.
Yeah. Here's the deal, though. Not your fault, because I have been waiting too long for 3 weeks in a row to tell everyone what the movie is. My fault.
Do they know next week's Collateral?
Next week is Tank Girl.
Oh. What?
We're just going to throw a little curveball in there.
Hey.
It's Thief. It's Heat. It's Insider. It's Tank Girl. Something's Got to Give. The way she moves, I like the way things happen when I talk to you. You are my friend, but we could be more. I am old and you are old, but
cool
you're
runnings.
Not really old.
Yeah,
you cool runnings. And then I knew it was Michael Mann. Yeah.
So here's we watched The Insider, and I forgot. I've watched this movie a lot.
That's cool.
Like I grew up watching. This was one that I watched. These are the main two Michael Mann movies I watched over and over and over. I finished it because I hadn't seen it in a couple years, and I loved it so much that I immediately was like, "What Michael Mann movie am I missing from my like collection. Blu-ray collection?" And I immediately went on to Amazon and I got them all. and
you just bought them all.
I bought them all, and here's the thing: I only spent like $45 on all of them.
Yeah,
because all his movies,
yeah,
you can get Miami Vice on Blu-ray for like $5.
I'm sure.
Public Enemies, $5.
Sure.
I had never seen Black Hat, bought it $4.
Yeah, that came out like 3 years ago.
I know, but it did not do well.
Yeah,
and I avoided it because everyone said it was not good. But I don't know. Like I just even when he misfires, I just really fucking like this month has really showed me. I'm like, oh, I really like just I'm tuned into Michael Mann. Like even when I disagree or it's too much, I'm still like I fucking like you and everything you do as a filmmaker. Even when it doesn't agree with me or like on a narrative level, I just appreciate that you're doing it.
And that's it. And that's I mean that is literally a good storyteller where it's like, I don't like the story, but I like the way it's told.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.
Like I'm excited to revisit Miami Vice, which I remember seeing in the theater and not hating, but being like knowing the show going in, I was like, oh, this is something completely different. Yeah. And I want to revisit it, and I'm excited to.
Sean Connery thought it was a misfire, then I watched it a few more times, and I think it's great. I would love to. I'd love to watch it. He just kind of.
Oh, it's Miami.
Jeff can ask you thought of Miami.
So I kind of had a similar reaction where it's like I enjoyed it. I did, but I was so taken aback because of what the show was, and he did something completely different. And I only watched it the one time, so I just bought it. I kind of already explained all this. Yeah. I just bought it, and I get it tomorrow, and I think I'm gonna watch it like tomorrow night. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited. Like I got Manhunter. I haven't seen Last Mohicans in fucking forever, so I'm very excited to watch that.
Yeah.
Which we wanted to do on here, we just couldn't fit it.
I think oh yeah, keep going. Sorry.
And then I got Black Hat and Ali, and I was so excited.
I've never seen Ali,
and I remember seeing Ali. Ali was the same thing where I watched it and I was like, "That's gonna be a misfire for me," but it's something that I remember vividly. But that whole movie, So I want to revisit that one.
The director's cut of Miami Vice is a commentary track. That's interesting.
Oh, cool. So there is a director's cut. Okay.
On our second pass. Because a lot of these directors, this is really our first director that we've done.
Yeah.
Our first actual filmography of, and I'm excited because so many of these directors have more than 4 notable films.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to come back around because what would be the second pass on him? Manhunter,
Ali,
Mohicans, and then what? Maybe Miami Vice?
I think that would be the best one too. I think Miami Vice because it is a good movie.
Just because it's like it touches on the fact that he
it re-examines his early career.
Right. that's interesting.
Because then we should do the pilot episode of Miami Vice, which is badass.
Really?
Oh, it's got what's that amazing Phil Collins song?
In the air tonight.
Yeah, that's what made that song that popular.
Really?
They like scripted the whole scene to play like the full song. And then his fucking sexy Corvette or whatever is driving down like the night Miami at night and stuff. It's really cool.
I never really watched Miami Vice, but now that I know, it blew my mind to hear that it was Michael Mann.
Me too. Yeah.
So that makes me kind of go like, maybe I should go and watch it. I don't know. I always thought it was like cheesy and dumb, but like just
the pilot is amazing. It really is.
Miami Vice theme song, sick. Jan Hammer. There's a director's cut of Black Hat as well, but I think it only aired a special screening then on TV at some point.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh, well, the other interesting thing to do would be that second film of his that I can't remember.
LA Takedown?
No, well, but no, the second one, the weird one, the supernatural one.
Oh, God, yeah. I tried. So you can't even buy that.
Really?
You can't find it anywhere. Yeah. The Keep. Which he did after Thief, which is what's crazy. Yeah. But what's interesting is there are a bunch of articles about The Keep online, and that was apparently a very, 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 very troubled production. Yeah. And he initially said
Scott Glenn in it is like a crazy,
Gabriel Byrne.
Yeah, right.
And it's like a
but it's like a Nazi
fantasy Nazi horror movie. Yeah. And
that is a proven genre.
And it had like exploding zombies in it and stuff, like Nazi zombies and things like that.
And then Phil Collins in the air tonight.
But apparently it was a super troubled production, and the effects guy who was going to do all the effects and was the only guy who knew how to do the effects, he died right after they wrapped production, and they were moving into the effects phase.
That's crazy.
So it totally screwed him up. and they had to reshoot it a bunch. And then he submitted a 3.5 hour first cut, and they cut it down to 90 minutes without his approval, and then that's what they released. And so apparently it's a nonsensical film, which is what I remember because I've seen the first half and I turned it off because I was like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So he's kind of publicly disowned it, and he said in an interview, they were like, will you do a lot of director's cuts and revisit? Because I think it was at the screening for the director's cut of Black Hat. And he was like, that's the only one we won't be able to because all the effects stuff was never even done in the first place.
Right. More like, let's keep that one in its case because it sucks. Am I right? Actually, I haven't seen it. Gotcha. Look at all those unplayed games. Where? What?
Huh?
What do you mean? What do you mean, buddy?
Games.
Well, hey, so let's talk about The Insider.
What'd you think?
Which is a fantastic film. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, here, these are the notes I wrote.
Why don't you give us a 1 if you watched it?
Yeah, if you've seen The Insider, if you've seen it recently. Oh, gotcha, Juan Pequeño. Gotcha.
Yeah, Rusty Crowe's good.
Rusty Crowe, nice.
He's real good.
I'm going to use that, Rusty Crowe.
Juan's giving us a 3.
Yeah. I think that's a 2. I think that counts. He's like, he really didn't watch it.
He's like,
3. I was like, I watched one.
Like, I watched all the other ones.
I did my homework. So, here we go. Here's a summary. Also, sick as Petito's Beach House. Pretty sick. The Insider brings you the latest celebrity entertainment news. The Insider tackles the trending celebrity stories of the day as well as... That's the wrong one.
Oh. He got bamboozled.
This is what we're looking at. This is Michael Mann's Insider.
Which is what the initial title for the movie was that, but for copyright reasons.
Yeah, they're just kind of like, let's just make that the...
But he's like, it's called OMG.
Yeah.
Whoa, that was supposed to be my Chicago accent.
I think that was perfect. That's the director's cut. Yeah, that's exactly right. A research chemist, which is the way to hook someone. Start with that.
Yeah.
A research chemist.
It's a sci-fi flick.
Yeah. Then most people go, in 2 or 3 words, if you don't say monster or experiment gone wrong, I'm going to not watch this. A research chemist comes under personal and professional attack when he decides to appear in a 60 Minutes expose on big tobacco. Yeah, there's more to it than that. There's like a whole second half of that film. That's
it's big tobacco and then it's media, big corporate media.
Because I think you mentioned, because I had not seen this. I think when we were talking about doing journalism movies, I think you mentioned this. And I was like, isn't that more about like a whistleblower? I had no idea that there was like this sort of journalistic integrity component to it. And that is one of my... I love it.
Yeah.
Like those kinds of movies, when it gets down to that, I can't even. I love it. I love it.
It's really
so great.
And I found like watching it this go round, I was like, wow, how incredibly relevant is this movie these days where you get so saturated with like false headlines and things like that where you're like it's just hard to get the news without an opinion attached to it.
Well, and the thing is, like, it's not only is it, and what honestly, I remember you were saying, we were texting back and forth because we're friends and we text sometimes. Like, don't worry about it.
We text all the time.
We totally do.
We text all the time.
Like emoji, whatever.
Yeah.
But you were like, it's like relevant today, and I was like, yeah. And I actually was like, it kind of just depresses me how it's like. More than being relevant, we've gone far past that mark. Where I'm like, I don't even like.
We're in the worst fear scenario of what this movie is talking about.
Exactly right. I'm kind of like, I wish we were back there.
Yeah.
Like I wish.
I
wish this sort of like crisis of conscience would happen.
This is bulldozed over daily now, where it's just like, oh, you guys are. It's like, what are you talking about? Yeah. And you're up in arms about what?
Yeah. Number 6 will shock you. That's exactly right. 451 is about a research chemist, and that movie's bad. What is 451? So, I love when Mike calls Lowell all proud. What did you think after he gets his thing back on the air? And Lowell's like, I think you suck, dude. Yeah. Because I think it's a disgrace.
Yeah.
And Michael Wallace just hangs up with a grim look on his face. Dude got told. He did. Crazy that it's like, I was like, oh dang, he's playing Mike Wallace? That's crazy. That's like
it is so crazy to me that CBS is like, they didn't have to call it CBC or CBS, you know, like they call it CBS. They use the logos.
Didn't go hard on the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. Yeah. No, agreed.
They talk about CBS directly. They feature it in the movie.
Yeah.
The same thing with the New York Times and its role in the entire story.
Yeah. I guess they could do it because it's a matter of public record. I mean, like they just.
Do you think that's what it is? Because like, and then they you know, obviously 60 Minutes is the biggest part of this entire movie, and 60 Minutes after this movie came out, they're really mad at Lowell Bergman. Yeah,
which is crazy because if they weren't involved, they had to be involved in the production, because even though like you can go, even though you can tell the story, because it isn't. I think because it's a matter of public record. I mean, and I'm just kind of talking out my ass, but they do not have to grant you the license to use their, like, you know, their logo. And
I don't know. Is that how it works?
So. Yeah, I don't think they would have. I mean,
because I know
they have to work with CBS.
When I do documentary shit, they make me blur out fucking everything.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even if like CBS is like, well, we can't keep you from telling the story because it is in the press and it's out and it's I don't know. I mean, I feel like matter of public record is more like when it's like in the courts kind of thing.
But I just feel like just the fact that they showed like CBS logos and they were
that's what I'm saying is like CBS can't stop them from telling the story, but they can't. They like, you know what I mean? Like they could stop them from using the logo. And
that's what I mean.
Did.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Shaddy? The stuff with the suits at CBS. So that is when the movie goes from like I'm interested, I'm involved.
Yeah.
Then it goes, and I go, oh, I am so in.
And it leads
because it becomes this
and then it leads to the greatest scene in the movie, which we'll get to later, but. It's just, you know, it's about a guy giving everything up in his life to tell the truth, and then telling the truth on 60 Minutes, and then CBS deciding we can't air this or else we'll be sued by Big Tobacco, who is so powerful they could end up owning CBS by the end of this lawsuit, and then them not airing his episode. And then, which and then like, can you imagine?
I mean,
he lost his job, family, everything,
so that would,
and then they decide to not air it.
Yeah, I watched. Yeah, like watching that scene where where Pacino calls him, or no, actually Russell Crowe calls him, and he's like, I don't know how to tell you this, but sorry, the chicken got burned, Suzanne, or whatever. No,
the fucking chicken.
Got overcooked. You got a great, you got a great expose. We got our heads. When Riggin first testifies, the movie kicks into his second gear. It's even far more compelling. Far more compelling. Yeah, I was just saying when he calls him, or when he talks to him, and he's like, I don't know how to say this. I'm like, I don't know. Like, how could you possibly break that news to that person?
It's just it was just ripping the Band-Aid. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like the only decent thing to do is like, and I know what's interesting about that and what's so heartbreaking. It's just like, I'm gonna say this, and then I know you're gonna hate me, like and rightfully so, and you're gonna hate me after this, and so I'm just gonna. What can I do?
Absolutely,
I'm gonna tell you, and it's just like his character, and I think this is one of the reasons 60 Minutes took issue with it. His character is such an amazing ideological.
Like a paragon, essentially. I mean,
he is just so pure.
He's the last bastion of journalistic integrity. I mean, it really is.
And it's amazing. It's an amazing dramatic device, and I think the real Lowell Bergman is like that. But he is so there's so much conviction.
Yeah.
And I mean, even Lowell Bergman was like, look, yeah. I mean, everything that happened in that movie is true. They took dramatic license. I don't yell like that. And I'm also not a 5'7" Italian man.
Yeah. Also, no one yells like that.
Yeah. He's like, I don't. He was like, I rarely raise my voice. Also, I don't quit and protest. And you know, I left 2 years.
2 years after.
2 years afterward.
Instead of, but
so you know, they condense and it's dramatic and like I get it. And like he said, he was like, for the most part, like 90% of this movie, is emotionally true and everything is factually relevant in terms of the court cases and things. Yeah.
I was having coffee with Wigan a half an hour ago. We got cocktails in a hotel room, which is why we tuned into such refined entertainment. Well, goodness, we're honored to be that
That puts pressure on us.
Yeah. You're watching the Filmography channel. Next on Filmography, I don't know. Another movie.
See, we're feeling it. We're crumbling.
It was funny, on the nose, when Philip Baker Hall straight up calls Lowell an anarchist. You're out of control. Yeah.
He's like, I'm not firing you.
Yeah.
I'm not firing you.
Yeah. Applies extra pressure. Dang it. Put on a tweed jacket. I wish they had one. I'm in my...
Put on your tweed!
How about this? I've got Ninja Turtle pajama pants on that you can see.
Whoa!
You can see right through them. Sorry, everyone. Sorry for that. And I'm playing a Yu-Gi-Oh game to add to the refinement. Absolutely. Yeah. Here's the deal. I watched this movie and I freaking loved it. I watched it on Wednesday though, and so I'll have to have my memory jogged because my life is such that a lot of things happen in a week, and my brain is like a hummingbird who has a lot going on and watches a movie and
things are just kind of going in this way.
Yeah,
falling out.
Yeah, Steel Magnolias though, childhood staple, Julia Roberts, diabetes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that movie. People make Steel Magnolias is the kind of like poster child for like weepy, quote unquote chick flick. But I watched it and it is devastating. Devastating.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
My copy of Ollie's on the way back. I got it.
Oh, sweet. That's cool.
Is it really? It's a devastating...
Oh, 100%.
I've never seen it.
It will wreck you. Sally Field, man.
Yeah, chicken flick, and that's what I heard, and that's why I've never watched it, and like I want to now.
Yeah. Did y'all do any South by Southwest?
No.
Yeah, sure. Love some Sally Field. Absolutely. Sally Field's fantastic. It also reminds me of my mother. There's several people. Julia Roberts and Sally Field both remind me of my mother.
Is that a good thing or
Robert
a bad
De Niro
thing?
and Al Pacino remind me of my father.
Interesting.
Yeah.
In a good way? Like which... You mean just the actors themselves? Oh, okay.
Just something about them. It's weird. They don't particularly... My mom Sally Field kind of looks like my mom did when I was younger.
Those are great actors.
Yeah, great actors.
And seemingly very nice people. Mm-hmm. So, what do you think? You're better than me?
Yeah.
What actors
remind you of your parents?
I've never... That's a really great question. Mm-hmm. And something I'm going to have to think about for a long time.
Okay.
Because
you're going to watch a bunch of Michael Mann movies and be like, Will Smith, Robert De Niro.
My dad is just like Will Smith.
Yeah. Austin, I said I would share one or two feelings on it. It's very polarizing. Most of them enjoy. I used to love South by Southwest, but I don't know what it. I haven't been in years. I used to go every year, but now I don't. And
I went for about 10 years straight, and then I stopped drinking. And then I never went again unless I was working it, and now I don't even work it because it's too exhausting. And I did it for 10 years, and I would use it as an excuse to get... John and I were talking about it. My brother, we were talking about it the other day, and we were like, oh yeah, we would use it as an excuse. Like by day 7, we'd be like, well, wherever the next bar we're going to is, like it needs to be next to probably a hospital. Because we would really push it to the extreme.
And they'd be like, Paul Rudd!
Yeah.
Paul Rudd!
One year we ran into Paul. We kept running into Paul Rudd everywhere we went. And we loved... This was at his peak Apatow phase.
Yeah, right.
And he had a movie there for Wayne, the Wayne guy.
Yeah. What's probably I Love You Man or
no, it was actually a dramedy, like more of a drama by David Wayne called... It was like a fishing town.
Oh!
It's a fucking great movie. Great movie.
Wait.
What's that called?
Wait. The one with Ken Marino in it?
Yes.
Is it called... It's about clamming or something?
Yes. It's great.
Really?
It's great.
Really?
I bought it, and I've watched it many times. It's very good. And Paul Rudd's like one of the leads in it, and Ken Marino. And Ken Marino's great in it. So they were all there, and we had kept running into him all week. And to the point that when he saw us in the crowd, but we kept yelling, because we were hammered for like 7 days straight, like blackout drunk,
just yelling clueless lines at him.
And we thought he was so funny. He was like always very good natured, but he was doing the Q&A afterward, and he told a joke, and we laughed way too hard. And he just looked at it, and he's like, "Was that funny enough for you?" And we were like, "Paul, buddy." And then we walked out, and we were like, "He hates us."
It's really funny.
But I like that guy.
I was at South by South, or one of the two, South by Southwest or Austin Film Festival. I can't remember. And I was in the bathroom, urinating into a stall. I mean, into the urinal, into the proper. I was doing the right thing.
You weren't like peeing on the stall.
Not on the ground. Yeah,
door.
You're just like like the cubicle thing. Yeah, you know.
You know how you do.
Some of you will know what a yeah. That's the story. So I was there, and I was going to the bathroom, and this guy comes in and comes into the stall next to me, the urinal next to me, and begins to do. And you know how you don't look, So I was just kind of aware of this person vaguely there. And he goes,
I did know.
You don't?
Yeah. I don't know. Continue.
You don't? Well, you don't look at the person next to you.
No, I'm just excited to hear who this person is.
Oh, yeah. So he comes in and he sits and he stands there and he goes at the exact same time. He goes, "It was me," and then farts as loudly as I've like ever heard a human being fart, like ever. Like he goes, "It was me," and it was just like I was like, "Good fuck," like, "Oh my gosh," and I was like, and then like just leaves, and I was like, "That guy was what was that? Was hilarious. That was so funny to announce it that way." And then fart, and I walk around the corner, it was David Wayne. I was like, "That's fantastic. That's really great."
I have to say, because they were just all like that group was just all over South by that year that you couldn't like not run into them if you were doing the festival. And I have to say they really did come off like we were obnoxious drunken idiots, but they came off as very nice people.
So here's we also
counter argument to that.
No, well, so I'll just say one of them. I won't say which one. But I can't remember what movie they were there for, and I love like Wet Hot American Summer and the 10.
Yeah, the state people.
Yeah. And so one of them was there they were both there for the same thing, and it was another one of the guys. And I went up to him after, and I don't usually like go up to people like I don't.
Yeah, neither do I.
I'm really cool, and I'm not like phased by that. It's like,
me
I just go, "Oh, you're just a human being. I don't care."
Yeah, Tom. Yeah, calm down.
Come on.
All right.
But this time I was like, I'm gonna go because it feels good to like have someone appreciate your work.
Absolutely, and it does. Yeah,
it really does, no matter who you are. And so I walked up and I go, it was not, and I go, "Hey." And I had this story about the first time we watched Wet Hot American Summer, which I always had wanted to see since it came out. And then like my wife and my brother-in-law and I were at the UT library for one reason or another. And we had some time to kill. And then I found that they had it. And we went into this like very quiet, like it's a library. We went into this like quiet viewing room where you can watch these movies. So keep in mind how boring the story is. Keep in mind.
Right. I just barked, man.
No.
I'm into this story.
No, I know you are. But this is a boring story. Like, I'm telling you, it's objectively a boring story. So, like, whatever. And we were in this viewing room. And they had never seen it or even heard of it. And I was like, "We're going to watch this. It's supposed to be great." And we just proceeded to laugh. Like, laugh.
You can watch movies at the library?
Yeah. Or we
like, you can just watch them there?
2003 or whatever it was. Or 5. Or something, and so we were watching it in this viewing room and just laughing, and it's a closed thing.
Yeah,
and we were like laughing so loudly and losing our just like peeing ourselves essentially. And I had to like keep like I would like periodically I just kind of be like okay hold on, we're gonna get kicked out. And I opened the door, and there was this small table of young women who were Asian American women who were studying very whatever, and I just kept kind of like going like, "They're gonna hate us," and they just kept closing the door. So I was like, that was our introduction to Wet Hot American Summer, and it was just like, so we laughed so loud that we were upsetting life.
Yeah,
that's it. And I was like, and I went up to, I was walking up to this Showalter, and I was like, and I go, "Hey man, like I just want to say, like a really big fan." And I was like, "I'm not gonna tell him that story; it's a stupid story, but I'll just say it." And he was like, "Thanks." And I go, and he was like, "Oh yeah, thanks," and gave me like just enough of a
sure,
like whatever that I was like, "I'll go ahead and tell him." And but like as I go, so he turns around, starts turning away, and I go, And then he goes, and like a little bit, not like.
He was like,
yeah. No.
"You're not done."
Like not like a jerk, but he was just kind of like.
He's like, "I gave you the hay."
He was just like, "Oh, okay, like it's this," and I go, "Oh," but as I was like, "Oh, there's a social cue that I need to respond to," but I'm 2 words into my story.
Yeah.
And so I either go, never mind, and walk away, which is weird, and also being like, I got your social cue, but so I go,
and I love libraries.
Yeah, and I go,
gotta go.
I just remember the first time we watched,
and then you told the story that you just told me.
Yes, it was awful. Because I go, like, 2 words into it, I was like, oh, this person isn't into it, but I either acknowledge that, like, I was like, oh, you gave me the social cue, you don't want to listen, because the guy's been there for weeks. Or,
I could never like it's why I like have no desire for celebrity. Can you imagine
I know.
on I double down into Clown Town?
Wait, what is that?
That is so painful to me because that seems like
horrible.
the worst.
It's
like
the worst.
To know, and then be like, I'm gonna do it anyways.
But I have to because I've started, and I either go, I'm gonna stop because you gave me a cue. And that's kind of like going like, you let me know, so I'm going to stop. Which could also be like, I think you're a dick. I don't think. I understand. But like, it just, but the worst part was like, so as and it's so bad because he turns and then I just kind of, and I'm already and I just go, and it was just like this. Like I was like, so I remember like the first time, because like we've both given up on this.
Like a school report.
It's so bad. And
one time I was at the library, and at the library we took out your Wet Hot American Summer.
Yeah.
Do you remember that movie that you made?
Yeah.
It was really funny.
And I was trying to just like barrel through it. And I go, and so I'm telling it like this, and I go, the first time I ever watched Wet Hot, and I called it Wet Hot, so he knew that I knew.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's really bad.
Oh my
god! It's the worst.
The
worst.
Oh man!
And the guy, we were just laughing, and it was loud,
it.
and we were annoying people, and so that was that. Cool, thanks a lot, bye. And that was it. That was the whole thing.
Peeing yourself right now?
Yeah.
And
then I went into the bathroom.
Urine coming out, puddling by your shoe. Oh, buddy.
And he goes, security.
That's painful.
Yeah, and he just goes like, yeah. Cool, thanks. And I was like, oh, it's so bad. It's the worst. But then like, what HAS? and then I went to the bathroom and had that David Wayne experience, and I was like, oh, that's great.
You're like, it really balanced out.
Yeah.
And then you told him the story.
Yeah, I go, hey, hold on.
As you were like,
by the way,
I gotta get that wet hot fart because I call everything wet. I use short. It's slang.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You probably were like, that was a real wet hot fart. That was a real wet hot fart.
And Wayne goes, no, I'm not. Why? Anyway, but I just want to say I've interviewed many celebrities and it's gone really well. I used to write for a paper and I did that and it went really well and they weren't like that. And
what you realize is that people like, I don't even know how to talk about this without it. Just I hate when talking about stuff like because it makes you sound terrible.
Yeah.
But like when you get to work with someone of any type of stature, you realize two things. They're completely normal in every sense of the word.
Yeah, totally.
In the sense that you're like, I walked away from too many situations where like, oh, I'm like way smarter than like these people, or like more, like I'm just like, or I'm a better person than these people or whatever. Sure. I know what you're saying because they do live in a bubble. Yeah, like a lot of them do. Yeah. The good ones are aware of that and do everything in their power to counterbalance that. Sure. But the second thing is you get an up close look at why they act that way, and then the ones either they either embrace it and they love it and they get like kind of addicted to it or whatever like that, or they again they're just like I compartmentalize. I do the things I have to do to interact with fans because I owe everything to my fans. I'm very appreciative of that. Sure. Also, I only have so much of myself that I can give out to the world. And so I completely understand how people can both be incredibly grateful for all their fans because that's the reason they're famous or whatever, and then at the same time have be incredibly reticent to have casual encounters with them.
Absolutely. And whenever anyone, because to be fair, to be perfectly clear, I am not I don't know. I'm not.
I'm the same way
as you. I'm
not
putting it on that person like that. Like anytime I hear anyone be like, "Oh, I met that guy. He's a," and I go, "Really?
Oh, I hate that.
No
I
idea.
hate that.
You have no idea.
What does that person owe you?
I don't care what they did.
And if someone came up to me, I'd be like, "Who? I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
I don't know you.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, what's up? I like, you're cool. And I'm like, I do not care.
Yeah.
And I would act that way.
Yeah.
I would be considered a real.
Russell Crowe goes, use the cell phone. Yeah. It'll work.
And I'm like, thanks, shoulder Russell Crowe.
And you look on the other side.
He's like, no problem.
And you look on the other side, and Paul Hogan's there for some reason. And you go,
he's like, you should throw a knife at him.
That's not a phone. That's a phone.
This got out of hand quickly.
Yeah.
Another us.
Yeah. Flying at aces. Oh, it's gone really well. Yeah, it's such a pretty, soft, wonderful bubble where nothing hurts and everything agrees with you. Or you use it because everything hurts and you just dial into that and try to, soak up that as much as you can because you're empty inside. You're empty inside.
Who wants to live in a world where everyone agrees with you?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, that'd be a good place.
It would be terrible. It'd be awful. It'd be so boring.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Anyway, the Insider is fantastic.
No one agrees with anyone in The Insider.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So the movie starts with Russell Crowe getting shit canned.
Yes.
From his job at one of the big top tobacco companies, number 3 tobacco company in the world, Brown and Williamson.
Which I was like, is this a real company?
I thought that too.
I'd never.
Yeah. And it is.
It is absolutely was.
And
his end was.
And
oh, what a freaking cast!
I guess we should say that there's kind of like a cold open to establish Al Pacino's character when he's in. Is it Iraq or Iran?
I forgot about that. I don't know, but it starts like
because he's interviewing. He's going to meet the Hezbollah. Hezbollah. Is that his official?
Well, Hezbollah is like an organization.
Organization? Okay.
I mean,
I'm very nuts.
Yeah, it's
like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm dumb, so.
No.
But, so who is that guy?
I know enough to
In Block, who's that guy? You're smart.
Yeah. Iran. Okay.
Okay, cool.
What a world where you can get our baggage. Oh, that sucks.
Did you lose your baggage?
Sorry about that.
That is the worst.
Anyway, they go into they go to meet a head of a I mean, not a terrorist organization. I mean,
accused of being a terrorist organization.
Anyway, but losing your baggage is the worst. But anyway, there's this terrorist organization.
Uh-huh.
And they like, really honestly, I feel like they could have cut that whole opening. To me, it just it or at least shortened it because it goes. All it is there to go like he's big time. He doesn't crack under pressure. He handles things really well.
Yeah.
Christopher Plummer, they have this working relationship. I just wish they'd cut it down a little bit.
That's fine with it. It was fine. Yeah, it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
I had no issues with it. I suppose you could if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't think you lose or gain anything by it.
I think because I just thinking back on it, I go, just jump me into the actual story. Because the story already goes...
What did you not like? It established everything you just said. It did a lot to establish a lot of things. Mainly a lot of character beats.
But I think you can... Yeah. But I think you can do the same in like... I mean, far be it from me to suggest dialogue...
30 seconds into The Insider, and he's like, well, I wouldn't have done it that way.
It's true. It's true. I think far be it from me to suggest dialogue instead of shown exposition.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you can establish Christopher Plummer and
I think it sets it up in a high intensity situation where you realize you see him doing his job instantly, how good he is at convincing someone of that stature to garner an interview, how he reacts under pressure, and then it introduces Mike Wallace and how he reacts under pressure and shows him in his environment, which sets up both. It immediately puts them both on track to be like, okay, he's the slightly egomaniacal, hothead journalist, legendary journalist.
Right.
he's the cool, calm, and collected producer who just wants to get it done. But you can see how they work very well together, and they work off each other very well.
Sure, they do.
Like, I loved when he got all mad at the guard when he was trying to turn his chair closer to him. And that's where they laid, because I mean, ego was a heavy component to Mike Wallace's character in the movie.
Sure.
And he's like, I can't perform an interview back there, and I'll put my chair wherever I damn well please.
And he's awesome.
And he's also doing it, and then he's like, "Are you done bullshitting?" He's like, "Yeah, that got my heart started." So it's also like he's tuning up,
and
he's tuning him
exactly.
up.
And it definitely establishes their working relationship, and it definitely. I just think it's. I mean, it does those things. I think you can establish. I don't even think you need it. I think you can establish that in scenes with them as they deal with this story. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like saying, like, to me, it's kind of like saying if you have a cop movie, you know, and this is like, you know, the French Connection or whatever. It's like, I don't know. It's like
it's the cold open to the French Connection when he's Santa Claus. And he's bringing them down to Poughkeepsie and breaking them down and showing how their relationship works.
Yeah, but it takes far less time. I don't know. It's just weird because
it does it. It literally, that opening scene is like maybe 4 minutes long. It's not as long as you think. They move quick.
They do.
They do the title sequence where they're driving through Iran.
Right.
And that gets the credits out of the way. The second the credits are done, we're into the interview with the main guy. That lasts for maybe a minute and a half because they barely say anything.
And then they go. Then they have another scene.
Then they have the interview, and then we literally cut to Russell Crowe putting away his stuff and leaving.
But it's just a third. It's like the first part of the main story is about. I mean, the whole story is about Wygand and the thing, but then it takes a permutation.
But it shows the prominence. It shows when. Al Pacino as Lowell Bergman, when he calls on the phone and he says, "This is Lowell Bergman with 60 Minutes."
Right.
That sets up the power that has within the context of the 1990s. That sets it up how important they are.
Absolutely.
And he is.
It does do that.
It does.
It does. I agree. I just don't because that's an interesting thing in and of itself. It's just part of a different movie to me. It's just fine. It's like saying
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what to say to you. Like, I don't understand why. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah.
But there are a million ways to do it.
Sure.
To open a movie. Why is it wrong? It's a choice.
It's not wrong. It's just
the way you're phrasing it makes it seem like it has a negative effect on the rest of the movie.
I think I get to the end of the movie and I go, oh, like, wow, it changed in the second half of the movie. It became something else that I really, really like. That is the most fascinating part. That's my favorite.
Well, that's cool, but like,
but what
you're saying, because the way you're talking about it makes it sound like you really loved the second half, and you were like, and the first half's really good.
So like, well, yeah, my favorite part of the movie is after it makes that turn. And that's really, to me, that's where it really gets in the meat of it. And that's the most fascinating stuff to me. I like the other stuff as well, and it's very good. And it's just...
But you have to understand, you don't have that second half unless you have that first half.
So, hold on. So, because that second half, yes, comes from the first half, which is Wygand. But then you've got this third part that's here, and it's 4 minutes. And it just feels like a whole different thing to me. I go, this is great. This is very, this is great as well. Sure. These two are the same movie. This is part of another movie, another very short movie that tells me something that I got anyway. That's all. Like, here's my argument against it is that I end the movie and I go, okay, so like, and not even, I don't even end the movie. Like 5 minutes after that scene, I go, okay, that scene was just there. Like, it took me out of the movie enough for me to go, like, the reason we did all that was to set up this thing. And I think when I'm taken out of a movie and I know why something is put there, it takes me out of the movie for a second.
I think it's an exciting way to start off a movie that's going to be mostly about corporate paperwork, and it's justified by, so it's an interesting way to open the movie, and it establishes Lowell Bergman as a world traveling renowned producer for 60 Minutes, his relationship with Mike Wallace, and the importance, like the type of interviews that they do on a daily basis, and how to him, when he looks at Jeffrey Wygand, he's like, you don't understand, like, you are important. Which he says, and he says later in the movie,
Absolutely.
he's like, you got people who care about you, man. Like, you're important. Like, and what you have to say is incredibly. It's like one of the biggest things ever. Mm-hmm. You might not think that, but I do.
Yeah.
And I've interviewed everyone.
Right. Totally. And I get that. I think that we get a lot about those characters and that particular relationship between Mike Wallace and Al Pacino, because those are the things that it establishes. I think we get that in the course of the movie, and I wish they had established that within the world of the movie itself. That it spends most of the time, but it's fine. It's okay. I just kind of think back on it and I go, that's a practical thing that's there for this purpose, and it separates it from the rest of the movie in my mind, which is fine. It's not bad at all. It's well
interesting
done.
that it separates it in your mind somehow,
because to me it so clearly is just a functional. It's almost like a plot device. It's just character development. It's like exposition.
It's not exposition. It's character development. It's establishing two characters and what their jobs are, and then sets up thematic layers for later on when he's looking at a guy who doesn't think even is it even worth what I have to say, and he's like, yes, and I'm a powerful producer guy, and it sets up his arc as like a good dude, because he doesn't even for him it doesn't matter if it's this dude over here in Iran or this middle-aged white guy who lives in North Carolina or wherever they were at. It's just like the truth, like a good story is a good story is a good story, and the truth matters.
Agree. But I think we get that in the rest. I don't know. It's like, to me, if like Dog Day Afternoon was like it's about this bank robbery, but like here's another time he robbed a bank, which didn't happen. But like, or like there's a crime that he committed before, and it's like a bit of this just to tell us about him, when I'm like, I get everything that I need in this self-contained thing. I don't know. I love the movie. I think, but I can see, like, say I like forgot everything about this movie, which I was like, if I went back down and popped it back in, I go like, oh right, this part, which like is cool, but just doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the movie. That's what I feel.
I'm not.
I mean,
I know that's how you feel.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm just completely disagreeing with
you. Yeah.
So
that's all right.
we're now 4 minutes in, and he's already completely wrong.
No,
it's gonna be one of those shows, maybe.
Most Michael Mann part of the movie, and of course Lobo is like, look at this, because it doesn't. Yeah. Why is it the most Michael Mann part? Because it has guns in it.
Yeah. Look, it's just all
But that's what I'm saying. Like what you just said, right? Is like it's like you go like it says this exciting way to start a movie.
Yeah.
That has that really has nothing to do with guns and anything, and is about people talking in a boardroom. And I'm like, make that part exciting instead of relying on that, which he doesn't rely on that. The rest of the movie is exciting. The rest of the movie is absorbing, tense. I'm riveted by the movie, particularly as it gets into the later stuff. Like I
think it shows the reach that 60 Minutes
has.
Scale.
It's for scale.
I get it. It completely it puts what the next 2 hours 30 minutes, because it's like 2:35.
Yeah.
Next 2 hours, 2.5 hours. It puts it in context of like the importance of it. It does. Because it's a smart scene to start off with. It is.
Well, it does give us that. I'm just saying like there's not, if that scene didn't exist. Mm. And I watched the movie.
It would still work, but to say that it doesn't add to anything, that's what I disagree with. Because I think it does. It doesn't work as a cold open, or you could just lose it and not lose anything. It adds to it, and it puts a lot of things in context for the remainder of the movie, and then we're just in the remainder.
Are you saying that as you watch the movie, you think back on it? Something is.
I think it immediately puts you. You're like, oh. It gives you such a window into who Al Pacino's character is, and then by proxy, Mike Wallace and 60 Minutes and CB. It does. It puts it in a very specific, like, oh, this is a worldly dude.
1 second, sorry. Is James being weird?
Uh-oh.